The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Psalm 23, 1-3. You've come to the quiet now, the hour when the noise of the world fades, and your heart begins to listen. The day may have left you weary, carrying burdens too heavy for one soul to bear. But here, in the soft whisper of night, there is someone waiting for you. He has not forgotten your name. He has seen every tear, every thought you never spoke, and tonight, he wants to calm your heart. Maybe you've been asking for peace that never seems to stay, like waves that rise and fall with every worry. But the voice of Jesus is stronger than the storm. He once said, "Peace, be still," and even the winds obeyed him. That same voice speaks over you now. Close your eyes and hear it. The waves of your mind begin to quiet. The sea within you listens. You are not here by chance. God himself has drawn you into this moment, not to demand, but to restore. Come to me, he whispers, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. His peace is not distant, it is personal, wrapping around you like a gentle embrace. Let go of everything that has tried to steal your rest. Let his word become your shelter. Have you ever noticed how silence can feel sacred when you invite him into it? This is that silence. A holy space between your heartbeat and his presence. The shepherd watches over you, his rod and his staff comfort you. Fear has no place here. You are safe beneath his wings where no darkness can reach. The night itself becomes his servant, sent to guard your sleep. Listen closely now. The Spirit of God moves even in stillness. Every breath you take is borrowed grace, a reminder that his mercy renews with every inhale. You don't have to fix anything tonight. You don't have to prove your faith. You only need to rest, because peace is not earned, it is given, and that gift is already yours. If your heart has been whispering for peace, you're not alone. Jesus has heard that whisper long before tonight. Every chapter that follows will be a conversation between your soul and his word. Stories of storms stilled, hearts healed, fears silenced, and promises fulfilled. Let these words lead you into divine rest, where the world cannot follow and only his presence remains. Now, be still and let his peace begin to speak. Chapter 1. The voice that calms the storm. The night can sometimes feel like the sea, unpredictable, deep and full of unseen waves. Fear rises with every thought you can't control, but somewhere in the darkness there is a voice that does not tremble. It does not shout above the wind. It speaks within it. You can almost hear it now, calling your heart back to calm. This voice is not far away. It is Jesus, standing in the middle of your storm. Long ago, the disciples faced a storm that threatened to swallow their small boat. "Lord, save us, we're going to drown," they cried. Matthew 8:25. Jesus rose, rebuked the winds, and the sea became still. The chaos obeyed its creator. In that silence, the disciples realized who was with them. Tonight, that same Savior stands beside you, unshaken by the waves around your life. Fear often comes dressed as control, trying to manage what only God can command. The sea inside you roars with worry, but his word carries power to quiet every tide. "Peace, be still," he says, not only to the waters, but to your anxious thoughts. Those 3 words echo through time, reaching you now. Let them settle deep in your chest where the waves once lived. You don't have to understand how the storm will end. You only need to know who speaks through it. Every whisper of his peace is proof of his authority. The wind may howl, but it cannot outlast his word. Let your trust rise higher than your fear. When you stop fighting the storm, you start hearing his promise. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Imagine Jesus standing at the bow of your heart, his gaze steady, his hand lifted. Around him the storm loses its voice. The water folds into stillness like a child being held. That is what happens when divine authority meets human fear. You are not lost in the sea. You are carried by the one who walks upon it. Breathe now. Every inhale is a reminder that the storm does not define you. Every exhale releases the fear that tried to anchor your soul. The night may remain dark, but darkness no longer rules it. Even now, the Spirit whispers calm over the chaos. You can rest, not because the world is peaceful, but because your heart is. Let this truth wash over you. Peace is not the absence of the storm, but the presence of Jesus within it. The waves may still move, but they move under his command. And while the world waits for morning light, your heart already knows the dawn. He who calmed the sea will calm you. Now close your eyes. Let the memory of that calm Galilean sea become your prayer. Feel the stillness return, deep and complete. The same voice that once said, "Peace, be still," now says your name, gently, with love. The storm is not your end, it's his invitation to trust. Sleep now, for the waves have listened. Chapter 2, The Shepherd's Rest. There is a kind of rest that doesn't come from sleep, but from knowing you are cared for. The soul grows tired from striving, from trying to be enough in a world that never stops moving. But tonight, the shepherd calls you to lie down, not in worry, but in green pastures of peace. His voice is familiar, gentle, and kind. It has guided you here for this moment. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalm 23:1. These words are more than poetry, they are a promise. The shepherd does not drive his flock, he leads them beside still waters. Every path he takes is safe, even when shadows fall. He knows where rest is found, and he knows exactly how to lead you there. You are never lost when you follow his peace. Perhaps your heart has wandered lately, searching for meaning, for quiet, for a sign that you are not forgotten. The shepherd never scolds the lost. He seeks them. His staff is not for punishment, but for rescue. When he finds you, he does not demand apology, he rejoices. "Rejoice with me," he says, "for I have found my sheep that was lost." Luke 15:6. As you rest now, imagine his hand upon your shoulder, steady and warm. The world fades into soft silence, and all that remains is his presence. You can release the need to figure everything out. The shepherd already knows the way. His peace is not a place you reach. It's a presence you follow. Stillness begins where striving ends. The shepherd doesn't hurry his flock. He restores them. Every heartbeat slows to the rhythm of his care. He restores my soul, the psalm says, and that is what he is doing in you. Healing does not always shout. Sometimes it sounds like quiet breathing beside still waters. Your burdens are not too heavy for him. He carries what you cannot. When fear tries to wander back in, remember his rod and staff, symbols of comfort, not control. They remind you that you are safe even when the path feels unknown. The shepherd's peace doesn't remove the valley, it transforms it into holy ground. You are seen, you are led, you are loved. The shepherd knows your name, and he will never leave you behind. The night is his pasture, the stars his lanterns, and your soul his delight. He guards your dreams as carefully as he guards your life. Now let your heart follow his voice into rest. The grass beneath you is soft, the waters nearby are still. The shepherd hums a song older than fear itself, a melody of eternal care. Listen as your spirit joins the harmony. The Lord is near, and you shall not want. Chapter 3. Cast your cares. Some burdens are quiet. They don't shout, but they weigh heavily on the heart. The worries you've carried all day may not have names, yet you feel their pull even now. God sees those invisible weights. He does not ask you to hide them. He asks you to hand them over. Peace begins where surrender starts, and tonight that surrender can happen right here. The word says, cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7. These words are not a command of pressure, but a call to relief. The act of casting is not polite, it is freeing. You are invited to throw every concern into the arms of one who will never drop them. When your soul releases its grip, your heart begins to breathe again. God never intended for you to carry what only He can hold. The weight you feel tonight, the fear of tomorrow, the regret of yesterday, all belong in His hands. Each time you whisper your worry to Him, heaven listens. Nothing you release goes unnoticed. His care is personal, constant, and full of grace. There is no shame in being weary. Jesus Himself grew tired and sought the Father's presence in prayer. He knows what it feels like to need rest. The difference is that He never carried worry, only trust. When you release your cares, you walk in His footsteps, learning the rhythm of divine peace. Close your eyes and picture a river. Every fear, every anxious thought is a small stone in your hand. One by one, drop them into the water. Watch as they sink beneath the surface, never to return. The current carries them toward God's mercy, and the ripples fade into stillness. Your hands are empty now, ready to rest. Come to me, Jesus says, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. His voice does not accuse, it invites. The world asks for effort, but God offers ease. His peace is not earned through striving, but received through surrender. Tonight, you can let go without fear of losing control. In this quiet, feel how light the night becomes when you trust Him with everything. His care is the air around you, soft and certain. There is no anxiety He cannot handle, no thought too heavy for His peace. The stars above remind you, nothing is out of His reach. Let your heart whisper a final release. I give it all to you, Lord. As you do, something sacred happens. The night grows still, and the silence begins to sing. You are no longer holding your fears. You are held by love itself. Rest now. The burden has found its rightful place. Chapter 4. The gift of stillness. The world rarely stops moving. Even when the body rests, the mind keeps racing, reaching, replaying. But stillness is not just an empty space. It's where God speaks. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. These words are not a suggestion. They are a doorway. To enter them is to step out of chaos and into presence. You don't need to silence every thought to find peace. You only need to notice the one who stands above them. Stillness is not the absence of sound, but the awareness of divine nearness. Every moment of quiet becomes a meeting place between heaven and your heart. In the hush, God reveals that He has been here all along. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a calm lake. The water mirrors the sky, untroubled, pure. This is what happens when the soul rests in God. Reflection replaces reaction. The restless thoughts settle, and the spirit within begins to whisper. In this peace, you remember, you are not alone, and you never were. Stillness is not weakness. It is worship. When you stop trying to control the outcome, you declare that God is enough. He does not need your perfection, only your presence. The noise fades when trust takes the lead. His silence is not distance, it's depth. In the scriptures, Jesus often withdrew to lonely places to pray. Luke 5:16. Even the Son of God sought solitude, knowing that in stillness the Father's voice is clearest. If Jesus needed quiet, how much more do we? The night you're living now may feel silent, but it's sacred ground for communion. As your breathing slows, imagine the Spirit hovering gently over you, as he once did over the waters in creation. Every breath draws in peace. Every exhale releases tension. The same power that shaped galaxies now shapes calm within you. Stillness is his creative touch, remaking your inner world. Peace does not rush. It unfolds, like dawn breaking softly over the horizon. The longer you stay in stillness, the more your soul begins to remember its true rhythm, unhurried, unafraid, anchored in grace. God is not in the thunder. He is in the whisper. Now let the night wrap you in divine quiet. No striving, no fear, only presence. Every heartbeat is prayer, every breath a hymn of trust. The world may keep turning, but for now, you can stop. Be still and know he is here, and that is enough. Chapter 5. Trust beyond understanding. There are moments when logic runs out, when answers fade into silence. You may try to hold the pieces together, but your strength feels thin, your plans uncertain. It is here, in the quiet confusion, that faith becomes real. Trust is not born in clarity. It grows in surrender. When you stop needing to understand, you start learning to rest. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3:5. These words are both challenge and comfort. God asks for your heart, not your analysis. He invites you to believe that his way, though unseen, is perfect. Faith is not blindness. It's sight beyond what eyes can see. The mind resists this kind of peace. It wants explanations, not mystery. But mystery is the language of God's wisdom. His timing may confuse you, yet his love never does. He sees what you cannot, and even delays are wrapped in purpose. To trust him is to accept that every unanswered prayer is still heard. Sometimes faith looks like standing still while everything else moves, like Abraham, who went out not knowing where he was going. Hebrews 11:8. He didn't need a map. He had a promise. God's direction often begins with uncertainty, but ends in peace. You may not know the route, but you know the guide. Close your eyes and breathe. Every question you hold can rest now. You are not required to solve your story tonight. God is writing it, line by line, through every pause and every prayer. His wisdom holds your confusion the way a parent holds a child, gently, without judgment. There is a sweetness in not knowing, for it means you are being led. Every detour has purpose. Every delay carries grace. The Lord is not late. He is precise. Even what feels like loss is part of his redemptive plan. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:6. Faith doesn't erase fear. It redefines it. You begin to see that what frightens you cannot separate you from his care. Trust is not about what you know. It's about who you know. The shepherd who leads you beside still waters is the same one guiding you through the night. So rest now. Let go of the need to explain, to predict, to fix. You are safe in the hands that shape the stars. Tomorrow belongs to him, and that is enough. The mind can sleep when the soul remembers. He is faithful, and his plans are peace. Chapter 6. The Peace. Jesus promised. Peace is not something you chase. It is someone who calls your name. The world offers comfort that fades, but Jesus offers rest that remains. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. John 14:27. This is not borrowed peace. It's eternal, handcrafted for your soul. You may have looked for peace in control, in success, in understanding. But his peace is not earned. It is given. It cannot be broken by circumstance because it is built on his presence. Even now that peace is drawing near, wrapping softly around your thoughts like dawn light after a long night. The disciples once trembled behind locked doors, afraid and uncertain. Then Jesus appeared and said, "Peace be with you." John 20:19. Fear fled because the presence filled the room. That same peace enters your space tonight, not through effort, but through invitation. You don't have to unlock the door. He walks through it. His peace is unlike any other. It does not deny the storm. It redefines it. It does not remove the pain. It redeems it. When his peace takes residence in your heart, anxiety becomes an echo fading into the distance. You realize the quiet you've been craving has always been the sound of his voice. Let the words of Jesus linger. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. John 14:27. These are not gentle suggestions. They are declarations of divine authority. Fear must leave when peace speaks. The heart that trusts him cannot be divided between panic and promise. Peace is not fragile. It can withstand loss, loneliness, even death. The cross was the world's chaos, yet from it came eternal calm. When Jesus said, "It is finished," he also meant your striving. His victory became your rest. The battle ended and peace began. Take this moment to breathe in his nearness. Imagine his hand resting lightly on yours. No pressure, only presence. The night grows softer, your pulse slower. You are no longer fighting to be okay. You simply are, because he is with you. Now let the words echo into the quiet. His peace is yours. You cannot lose what he has already spoken into existence. Rest in that truth. The world will turn again tomorrow, but tonight, heaven holds you still. Peace has found you, and it will not let go. Chapter 7. Rest for the weary. There are days when your strength feels like sand slipping through your fingers. You try to hold it together, but even your hope feels tired. Yet the voice of Jesus calls through the weariness, soft and steady. "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. These are not distant words. They are spoken to you tonight. Rest is not a reward for doing enough. It is a gift for being loved. The world tells you to earn it, but Jesus simply offers it. He doesn't say, "Come when you're strong." He says, "Come as you are." That invitation carries healing. When you finally stop running, you realize he's been walking beside you all along. Fatigue is not failure. It's a reminder that you were never meant to carry life alone. The same God who rested on the seventh day invites you to rest now. His rest is not just sleep. It's soul restoration. It's the peace that seeps into every corner of your heart until fear has no place left to hide. When you come to him weary, he doesn't add weight. He lifts it. He trades your anxiety for assurance, your exhaustion for grace. "Take my yoke upon you," he says, "for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Matthew 11:29. His strength joins with yours until the burden becomes light. Imagine yourself walking through a field at dusk, the world fading into soft gold. You feel his presence beside you, unhurried and calm. There's no need to explain your exhaustion. He already knows. The rhythm of his steps slows your heart, reminding you that peace is found in his pace. Every sigh you've released today has been heard. Every tear has been seen. God collects them not as reminders of pain, but as proof of love. Your weariness is sacred to him, an offering of trust. Rest is worship when it says, "I believe you will hold me together, even while I sleep." In this holy quiet, you can stop striving. The shepherd watches while you rest. The weight you've carried finds its rightful home in his hands. The night, once heavy, becomes holy. You can finally let your mind fall silent and your spirit settle into stillness. So breathe deeply. You are safe now, surrounded by grace. Let your heartbeat match the rhythm of His promise. Peace, peace, peace. Sleep is no longer escape, it's communion. You are not drifting away. You are resting closer to Him. Chapter 8. The Secret Place. Every soul longs for a hiding place, a space untouched by noise where fear cannot enter. God created such a place for you. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm 91:1. This is more than poetry, it's protection. Tonight, that secret place is open and He's waiting inside. The secret place isn't found in silence alone, but in surrender. It begins when you stop seeking safety in your own strength and start resting in His. Within His presence, every worry loses its voice. The world may shake outside, but peace stands guard within. His shadow is not darkness, it is covering. When you enter this place, the atmosphere changes. The air itself feels different, lighter, sacred. Angels watch quietly while the Father's love surrounds you like a soft blanket. Fear cannot breathe here. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. Psalm 91:4. You are home. Even if life's storms rage beyond these walls, nothing can reach you here. His faithfulness is your shield, His truth your fortress. You don't need to fight to stay safe, you simply need to stay close. The closer you are to His heart, the quieter the world becomes. Stillness deepens and peace unfolds. Close your eyes and picture it, a hidden room glowing with gentle light. There are no clocks, no noise, no expectations, only presence. God's whisper fills the air like fragrance. You are mine. The room does not exist outside you. It lives within you. Every prayer opens its door a little wider. In this secret place you are fully known and never judged. You can rest without pretending, breathe without fear. Here, God speaks not in thunder, but in tenderness. His love doesn't demand perfection. It delights in your being. His silence is not absence. It's intimacy. This is where renewal begins. Wounds that seemed unhealable start to close. Anxiety loses its voice, replaced by the quiet hum of divine assurance. You are not forgotten. You are hidden in love. The world may forget your name, but heaven knows it well. So stay a while. Let the night guard your secret place. Every breath is prayer, every heartbeat worship. You are safe beneath His shadow, wrapped in everlasting peace. When morning comes, you will rise renewed, not because the world has changed, but because you have rested in the One who never does. Chapter 9. The Peace that Guards. There are nights when the mind won't quiet down, when thoughts move like restless waves against the shore of your soul. You try to pray, but words feel heavy. Yet God does not ask for eloquence, only surrender. His peace isn't earned by effort, it flows from trust. Do not be anxious about anything, Paul wrote, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Philippians 4:6. This peace is unlike anything the world can offer. It doesn't ignore the storm, it surrounds it. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:7. Imagine that. Peace as a guardian, standing watch through the night, keeping every anxious thought from slipping back in. When you pray, you exchange the language of worry for the language of gratitude. Each thankful word unlocks another door in your heart, allowing light to enter. Gratitude doesn't deny the pain, it just remembers that God is still present in it. Every breath of thanks invites His Spirit to breathe peace in return. Anxiety often disguises itself as control. It tells you that you must fix what only God can heal. But he reminds you gently, be still. Psalm 46:10. The more you release, the more peace remains. You are not failing by letting go, you are being faithful. True rest begins where self-reliance ends. Picture peace as an invisible shield surrounding your mind. The worries that once pierced your thoughts now meet grace and dissolve. Every fear finds its limit at the edge of his presence. This is not denial, it's divine defense. His peace is not fragile, it is a fortress. You don't have to keep watch tonight, God is awake. He who keeps you will not slumber. Psalm 121:3. While you sleep, he guards both your dreams and your destiny. The same hands that shape the stars hold your life together gently and securely. Even now, the weight in your chest begins to lift. The peace that surpasses understanding doesn't need explanation, only acceptance. It moves quietly through your soul, restoring what fear tried to undo. You can rest because he is near, and his nearness is enough. Let the night become your prayer. Every heartbeat says, "Thank you." Every breath whispers, "I trust you." Peace is not something you wait for. It is someone already here. Close your eyes. The guardian of your soul stands watch. Chapter 10. Faith in the Dark. Darkness has a way of testing what we truly believe. When light fades and certainty disappears, faith becomes more than a word. It becomes the breath that keeps the soul alive. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. Even when you can't see God, he is still guiding you through the unseen. The heroes of faith walked through nights just like yours. Abraham stepped into the unknown. Moses faced the sea before it parted. Daniel prayed in a den before the morning came. Their strength was not in sight, but in trust. Faith does not erase the dark, it reveals the one who walks within it. Sometimes faith feels like silence, and silence feels like absence. But even in stillness, God speaks. We walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. The dark is not punishment, it is preparation. It teaches the eyes of the heart to see what the world cannot. When doubt whispers, remember this: the stars shine brightest where the night is deepest. Hope is not the denial of darkness, it is light refusing to die. The Lord works most tenderly when you least understand him. His voice moves through the shadows like wind through the trees, unseen yet unmistakably real. Faith begins where understanding ends. To trust God in daylight is easy, to trust him at midnight is holy. The dark is not the absence of his presence, but the canvas of his miracles. Even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day. Psalm 139:12. If you're walking through a valley tonight, know this: faith is not about feeling brave, it's about choosing to believe anyway. God never promised ease, he promised presence. His light may not remove the night, but it will keep you from losing your way in it. Close your eyes and let go of the need to see. You don't have to understand to be held. The same God who created light also created night. Both serve his purpose. In this darkness, he is closer than you think. And when morning comes, you'll realize that he was here all along, guiding, guarding, growing your faith one quiet step at a time. The night will pass, but the lesson will remain. Even in the dark, the light of the world never leaves you. Chapter 11. The Gentle Heart. The world often praises strength that shouts, but heaven honors the strength that listens. Gentleness does not mean weakness, it means power under peace. Jesus said, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." Matthew 5:5. Meekness is not submission to people, it is surrender to God. In gentleness, the heart finds the quiet it was made for. Anger exhausts the soul, but gentleness renews it. When your heart chooses peace over reaction, it begins to mirror Christ. He did not fight for approval. He lived from love. His calmness disarmed chaos. To follow him is to rest in that same stillness, even when the world demands noise. Gentleness starts when you stop defending yourself. You no longer need to prove your worth, for the shepherd already calls you his own. A gentle spirit sleeps easily because it carries no battle. The heart that forgives quickly, speaks softly, and listens deeply has already entered God's rest. The Apostle Paul urged, "Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near." Philippians 4:5. Notice the reason, not reputation, but nearness. The presence of God transforms the posture of the heart. When you remember that He is near, harshness loses its purpose. His closeness softens what life has hardened. Even creation moves in quiet strength. Rivers flow without shouting, flowers bloom without striving. The gentle heart joins that rhythm, trusting God's timing instead of forcing outcomes. Meekness is not passive, it is peaceful authority. It carries confidence without control. If your soul feels bruised tonight, know that God delights in gentleness. A bruised reed He will not break. Isaiah 42:3. His touch is tender, His correction kind. He does not shame you into change. He loves you into it. Every gentle whisper from His Spirit is an act of healing. Gentleness is not learned in ease, but in surrender. You don't have to push, prove, or persuade. You only have to rest in His way. The quieter your heart becomes, the clearer His voice will sound. Peace is not found in resistance, but in release. So let this be your prayer as the night deepens. Lord, make my heart like yours, calm, kind, and steady. Let His gentleness cover you like a soft blanket. The meek will inherit the earth because they already possess heaven's peace. Sleep now in that strength. Chapter 12. The Power of Forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the hardest acts of faith. It asks you to release what feels unforgivable, to loosen your grip on justice and trust God to heal the wound. Yet in forgiveness lies freedom. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Ephesians 4:32. Holding on to bitterness chains the heart to pain. The longer you carry it, the heavier it becomes. Forgiveness does not excuse what was done. It releases you from being its prisoner. It is not forgetting the hurt. It is choosing not to let it define your peace. When Jesus hung on the cross, He whispered, "Father, forgive them." Luke 23:34. Those words changed eternity. He could have spoken judgment, but He chose mercy. In that moment, forgiveness became the language of heaven. When you forgive, you echo that holy sound. There is healing that sleep alone cannot bring. It comes through letting go. Every time you forgive, you make room for grace to breathe again. The wound may not close in a moment, but forgiveness keeps it from infecting your soul. You don't heal by revenge, you heal by release. Sometimes you must forgive yourself too. Shame is a cruel companion, whispering that you are beyond redemption. But the cross says otherwise. If we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us. 1 John 1:9. God doesn't remember what you can't forget. He removes it. Forgiveness restores the heart to peace. Like fresh rain washing away dust, it cleanses the spirit of anger and fear. What was once heavy becomes light. The past no longer holds you. Grace does. And grace never closes its arms. If you struggle to forgive, you are not alone. God never asks you to do it by strength, but by surrender. Tell Him, "I can't, but you can through me." The Spirit will do what the flesh cannot. Forgiveness is not a feeling, it's a choice made in faith. Now, let your heart exhale. The weight you've been carrying doesn't belong to you anymore. You have released it into the hands of a merciful God. Feel how peace returns, steady, sure, divine. Sleep in that freedom tonight, forgiven and free to forgive. Chapter 13. Bread of Life. Hunger comes in many forms. Sometimes it's not the body that starves, but the soul. You may eat, work, and move through the day, yet feel empty inside. Jesus understands this longing. It's the hunger for meaning, for peace that lasts. He said, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry." John 6:35. The world offers many kinds of bread, but none truly satisfy. Success, approval, comfort, they taste good for a moment, but leave the heart wanting more. Christ alone feeds what nothing else can. His words fill the soul with eternal substance, the kind that nourishes hope and strengthens faith. When Israel wandered through the wilderness, God sent manna from heaven each morning. It was enough for the day, never too much, never too little. In the same way, His grace meets your needs daily. You don't have to store peace for tomorrow. He will send it again when the sun rises. Every time you turn your heart toward God, you are fed. His word becomes living bread, wisdom that sustains, comfort that restores. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. Matthew 4:4. That word still speaks, even in the silence of night. The bread of life does more than fill you. It transforms you. It takes what is hungry and makes it whole. Each bite of truth strengthens your soul against despair. Every promise is nourishment for faith. When your spirit feels weak, remember that His table is never empty. Tonight, imagine sitting at that table. The air is warm, the light soft, the Savior smiling across from you. You are not a guest. You are family. He breaks the bread, and peace fills the room. You taste forgiveness, hope, and love all at once. God's provision is not distant, it's personal. He knows what your soul needs before you ask, and as you rest, He feeds you still, through scripture remembered, through whispers of assurance. The hunger that once haunted your heart begins to fade. Now breathe. The bread of life has filled you again. You are satisfied, not by what you've gained, but by who you've met. His presence is the meal that never ends. Rest in that fullness tonight. Your soul is fed, and peace is your portion. Chapter 14. The Anchor of Hope. Every heart drifts at times, pulled by fear, loss, or uncertainty, but God has given you an anchor that holds even when the waters rise. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. Hebrews 6:19. Hope does not stop the storm. It keeps you steady through it. Hope is not wishful thinking. It's confidence in God's character. It believes that what He promised, He will fulfill, even if you cannot see how. Hope doesn't deny pain. It defies despair. It whispers in the darkness, "This is not the end." When the waves of life toss you around, hope grips deeper into grace. The rope may strain, but it will not break. God's promises are stronger than your circumstances. Every word He speaks becomes weight against the pull of fear. The heart anchored in Him cannot be lost. Abraham understood this. Against all hope, Abraham in hope believed. Romans 4:18. He trusted the God who calls things that are not as though they were. His faith became the rope that tethered him to divine certainty. That same rope now extends to you. There are nights when hope feels small, like a flicker barely surviving the wind. But even a flicker is enough when it's held by God. He protects it, breathes on it, and turns it into flame. The smallest faith can hold the greatest promise. Your hope is not in outcomes, but in the one who never changes. People may fail, plans may fall, but his word endures. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. Isaiah 40:31. They will rest while others strive, and rise while others faint. So when the storm feels endless, remind your soul of what anchors it. You are not adrift. Beneath every wave is the firm grip of grace, holding you steady. Hope is not gone. It's rooted too deep to be moved. Now let go of the need to see the shore. The anchor holds. You can sleep in peace tonight, not because the sea is calm, but because your soul is. Tomorrow will come, and so will his mercy. Hope remains, strong, silent, and eternal. Chapter 15. The light shines in darkness. There are nights when shadows feel heavier than light, when your heart wonders if dawn will ever return. Yet from the very beginning, light has always broken through. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. That truth remains eternal. No night can silence the word that spoke, "Let there be light." Darkness can be deceptive. It whispers that you are alone, that the silence means God has left. But even when you can't see him, he walks beside you. His light doesn't always remove the darkness. Sometimes it teaches you how to see through it. Every step of faith is a spark that keeps the soul alive. When Jesus walked the earth, he declared, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness." John 8:12. Those words are more than comfort. They are promise. You may not know where the path leads, but his light is enough for the next step. That is how peace is found. One step, one whisper of trust at a time. The light of Christ doesn't just surround you, it lives within you. When he entered your heart, the darkness lost its claim. Fear may visit, but it cannot stay. His spirit burns quietly, like a lantern that never fades, illuminating your thoughts with divine assurance. Even creation tells the same story. Every sunset holds the secret of resurrection, that even when light disappears, it always returns. The night may be long, but morning always belongs to God. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 35. And that joy is already on its way. Sometimes God lets the night linger so your eyes can learn to notice his smallest lights, the kindness of others, the beauty of grace, the flicker of hope that refuses to die. Each is a reminder that he is near, even when unseen. His presence glows in quiet places, waiting to be found. You don't need to chase the light. You only need to stay open to it. The flame of faith will guide you through what feels impossible. You are never lost to God. His light has marked you from the start. No shadow can erase that holy signature upon your soul. Now close your eyes and rest. The night outside may be dark, but the one who holds you is radiant. His light surrounds your dreams. His peace fills your room. Sleep under the glow of his promise. The darkness has no power here. Chapter 16. Streams in the desert. There are seasons when life feels dry, when prayers echo in silence and hope fades like water in the sand. Yet God has always been faithful to bring life where none seems possible. "I am doing a new thing," he says. "I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." Isaiah 43:19. Deserts test the soul, but they also reveal it. When all else is stripped away, what remains is dependence on God alone. The absence of comfort becomes an invitation to trust. In the barren places, his presence becomes enough. The desert is not punishment. It's preparation for promise. God's people wandered 40 years through a land without shade. yet they never went without provision. Manna fell each morning, and water flowed from the rock. Exodus 17:6, even in their complaining, his mercy sustained them. If he could turn stone into spring, he can turn your struggle into strength. Every dry place in your heart is soil waiting for rain. The ground may look lifeless, but beneath the surface, God is planting something unseen. When the time is right, life will break through. His timing is slow, but it is sure. Even in silence, the seeds are growing. When you feel forgotten, remember, the desert has never stopped God from moving. The Israelites followed a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night. His guidance did not depend on geography, it depended on love. That same love leads you still, one step of faith at a time. Let your soul drink deeply from his promises tonight. Whoever believes in me, Jesus said, rivers of living water will flow from within them. John 7:38. Those rivers are not far away. They are within you now. His Spirit turns emptiness into overflow. The desert will not last forever. The same God who paints flowers in barren soil will bring beauty from your brokenness. The wind that once stung your face will one day carry songs of praise. Peace will return, not because the desert changed, but because he met you in it. Rest now, knowing that refreshment is already on its way. The dry ground of your heart is softening beneath his mercy. Listen, the first drops are falling. Soon the desert will bloom again, and you will say with gratitude, "The Lord has done this, and it is beautiful." Chapter 17. Abide in the vine. There's a kind of peace that only comes from staying close, not rushing ahead or drifting away. Jesus described it perfectly when he said, "Abide in me and I in you." John 15:4. To abide means to remain, to rest in relationship. The branch doesn't strain to bear fruit, it simply stays connected to the vine. When you try to live apart from that connection, the soul begins to tire. The world teaches constant motion, but God invites continual presence. You don't have to strive to produce spiritual fruit. It grows naturally in surrender. Love, joy, and peace flow where roots go deep into grace. Jesus said, "Apart from me you can do nothing." John 15:5. Those words are not limitation, they are liberation. You are freed from the burden of self-sufficiency. Every moment of stillness in his presence restores what striving drains. Resting in him is the most productive thing you can do. Abiding doesn't mean doing nothing, it means doing everything with him. Prayer becomes conversation instead of performance. Work becomes worship. Even your rest becomes relationship. When you stay near his heart, your life aligns effortlessly with his will. Sometimes the pruning comes, those moments when God cuts away what no longer gives life. It can hurt, but pruning is not punishment, it's preparation. Every branch that bears fruit he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. John 15:2. He removes what hinders so you can flourish. When you feel disconnected, all it takes is a whisper, "Lord, I'm here." His presence is not earned by perfection, it's renewed by return. The vine never lets go of the branch. Only the branch forgets the vine. But the moment you remember, life flows again. Abiding turns ordinary moments into sacred ones. Washing dishes becomes prayer, walking outside becomes communion, breathing becomes worship. The vine and branch are never separate in purpose or peace. Everything you do becomes rooted in his presence. Tonight, rest as one who belongs to the vine. You don't have to prove your worth. Fruit will come in its time. Let his life flow through you as you sleep. The gardener is watching, the vine is strong, and your soul is safe in his embrace. Chapter 18. The Healing Word. Some wounds are visible, others live quietly beneath the surface. They ache in silence. waiting for something more than time to heal them. He sent his word and healed them, and delivered them from their destructions. Psalm 107-20. God's word is not just instruction, it is medicine for the soul. You may have tried to heal yourself through distraction, reason, or denial, but only his truth reaches the heart's hidden places. Each verse is like a balm, seeping into the pain you never spoke. His word does not condemn the broken, it restores them. Healing begins when you stop hiding and start listening. The same voice that created the universe speaks life over you now. When Jesus said to the paralytic, "Rise, take up your bed and walk," Mark 2:9, the man's body obeyed his word instantly. That same authority still flows through Scripture today. His words don't age, they act. Sometimes healing comes softly through small realizations and gentle peace. The heart begins to forgive, the mind learns to rest, and the body follows. God's healing is not always sudden. It is often steady. He restores layer by layer until wholeness feels natural again. There are nights when pain feels too deep for words, but God understands even your silence. Before they call, I will answer. While they are yet speaking, I will hear. Isaiah 65-24. His comfort moves beyond language. It touches where words cannot reach. Let his word speak over your wounds tonight. Let it replace lies with truth. You are loved. You are seen. You are being made new. Each verse is a breath from heaven, carrying light into your darkest memories. Healing is not distant. It is happening even now. Do not fear the process. Healing is not proof of your strength, but of his gentleness. The pain that once defined you will one day testify of his mercy. The scar will remain, but it will no longer ache. It will remind you of where grace touched you. Now rest in his promise. I am the Lord who heals you. Exodus 15:26. The night may hold memories of hurt, but the dawn will hold restoration. His word has spoken life into your story, and life will have the final word. Chapter 19. The God who sees. There are moments when loneliness feels endless, when you wonder if anyone truly understands what's inside your heart. But even in that silence, God is near. He is El Roy, the God who sees me. Genesis 16:13. Hagar spoke those words in the wilderness, and her tears became testimony. The same God who saw her sees you now. Hagar was running from pain, from rejection, from people who didn't value her. Yet in her running, she was found. God didn't wait for her to reach safety. He met her in the desert. I have seen the one who sees me, she said, overwhelmed by grace. The wilderness became holy because his eyes were there. You may feel unseen by people, overlooked in your struggle, forgotten in your faithfulness. But God's gaze has never left you. He watches with compassion, not judgment. Every sigh, every thought, every small act of love is known to him. You are not invisible in his story. When others misunderstand you, he understands perfectly. When the world moves past your pain, he lingers with you in it. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted. Psalm 34:18. His nearness doesn't always remove the ache, but it gives meaning to it. The God who sees also stays. There's healing in being seen by God. You no longer need to perform or pretend. You can breathe again, knowing that nothing within you is too hidden for his mercy. His sight is not distant. It is intimate, filled with care. Even your tears are counted, precious in his keeping. Close your eyes and picture his gaze, not harsh but full of light. The same eyes that saw creation into being now rest upon you with love. He sees your potential, not just your pain. The same voice that called Hagar by name whispers yours in the quiet of this night. You are fully known and still fully loved. That truth alone can calm every anxious thought. The one who sees every star also sees your struggle, and neither has slipped from his control. What others overlook, he remembers. What others dismiss, he redeems. Rest tonight in that assurance. You don't need to reach for his attention. You already have it. The God who sees has found you once more. You are not lost. You are held in his gaze. Sleep in peace, for his eyes never close. Chapter 20. Let not your heart be troubled. Fear is a quiet thief. It slips into the heart in small whispers, turning peace into tension and faith into doubt. But Jesus spoke words meant to silence that fear forever. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God. Believe also in me. John 14:1. Those words were not advice. They were assurance. He spoke them to disciples who were afraid of losing everything. Their teacher was leaving, their world unraveling, and yet he offered peace instead of explanation. My peace I give to you, John 14:27. Not the fragile kind the world gives, but the steady peace that comes from eternal presence. When anxiety rises, remember that Jesus didn't promise a life without storms. He promised calm within them. The command, let not your heart be troubled, is not denial. It's direction. It's an invitation to shift your focus from fear to faith. The heart becomes troubled when it forgets who holds tomorrow. But peace returns the moment we remember whose hands shape our days. Trust does not erase uncertainty. It transforms it into opportunity for faith. Every breath of surrender is a declaration of belief. Jesus also said, "In my Father's house are many rooms." John 14:2. He spoke of heaven not as a distant place, but as a home being prepared. Every act of trust builds that home within you. When fear knocks, remind it that your future is already furnished with peace. Even now his Spirit speaks softly. I am still here. The same presence that calmed seas now rests upon your heart. The same voice that stilled storms whispers your name. Your fear does not scare him, it draws him near. Take this moment to breathe out worry and breathe in faith. Each inhale carries peace, each exhale releases control. Let the night become your teacher, a reminder that you can rest even when you cannot see. The stars shine because they trust the sun will rise again. Now lay your troubles down before him. They were never yours to carry alone. The one who said, "Do not let your heart be troubled," watches over you still. His peace is not fragile. It's forever. Sleep with that promise glowing softly within you. Chapter 21. The Secret of Contentment. There's a quiet strength that comes from learning to be at peace with what is. The Apostle Paul called it the secret of being content in any and every situation. Philippians 4:12. Contentment doesn't mean settling. It means trusting that God's portion is always enough. It's the stillness that grows when gratitude replaces comparison. Paul wrote those words from prison, not comfort. Yet his heart overflowed with peace. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. He understood that joy is not found in abundance, but in alignment, resting in the will of God rather than the weight of the world. Contentment begins when you stop chasing what you think you need and start noticing what you already have. Every breath, every moment, every answered prayer is a sign of grace. When you live in gratitude, the smallest blessings become miracles. The restless heart says, "If only I had more." The trusting heart says, "I already have enough." True peace blooms in surrender. You don't need to have everything to rest. You only need to know that God is everything. That truth turns even scarcity into sanctuary. When you let go of the need to control, joy quietly returns. It's not loud or fleeting. It's steady, like a river flowing beneath the surface. This joy is not stolen by loss because it was never built on possessions. It's built on presence, His presence. Remember the words of Jesus, life does not consist in the abundance of possessions. Luke 12:15. The world measures success by gain, but heaven measures it by gratitude. When your heart is content in Him, no circumstance can steal your peace. Take this moment to thank God for what is, not what could be. Look around. Every good thing in your life has His fingerprints on it. Even in difficulty, there's purpose unfolding quietly. The soul that trusts in divine timing never lacks, so rest tonight without reaching. Let the day end with thanksgiving instead of worry. The same God who provided today will provide tomorrow. You have enough because you have Him, and in that truth, peace multiplies. Chapter 22. Under His Wings. There's something deeply comforting about the image of shelter, a place where danger cannot reach and fear cannot breathe. Scripture says, He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. Psalm 91:4. Those words are not metaphor alone. They are a promise written in the language of love. Imagine a small bird nestled beneath its mother's wings, safe, warm, hidden from the storm. That is how God holds you. You don't have to fight to be protected, you only have to stay close. His presence is stronger than any wind, His care deeper than any fear. When the world feels harsh, His wings become your home. They are not a prison, but a refuge. The Lord is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. Psalm 91:2. In His shadow, anxiety loses its authority. Peace becomes the natural rhythm of your heart. You don't need to know how He protects you, only that He does. Every unseen danger, every hidden worry is already covered. His feathers stretch farther than your fear, and His faithfulness forms the shelter you need. Nothing can touch you without passing through His love first. Even when you wander, He calls you back beneath His covering. Like a shepherd gathering his sheep, He leads you gently home. The warmth of His wings is not earned by worthiness. It's offered by mercy. You are safe because you are His. Jesus once looked over Jerusalem and said, How often I have longed to gather your children together, as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings. Matthew 23:37. That longing still echoes tonight. The heart of God has not changed. It still reaches for you. In His shadow, the night loses its sting, fear becomes smaller, and faith becomes song. You are hidden in a love that neither falters nor fades. The world outside may shift, but the shelter remains steady. So rest now beneath His wings. Feel His presence surrounding you like soft light in the dark. The wind may blow, but it cannot harm you. You are held by the One whose protection never ends, whose love never sleeps. Chapter 23. The Potter's Hands. Sometimes life feels like being shaped by unseen pressure, moments that stretch and mold you in ways you don't understand. But you're not breaking, you're being formed. Like clay in the hand of the potter, so are you in my hand, declares the Lord. Jeremiah 18:6. His touch is purposeful. Even when it feels painful, the potter knows exactly what he is creating. Each turn of His wheel refines your heart, smoothing rough edges and strengthening weak places. The process may feel endless, but every spin brings you closer to beauty. He doesn't discard imperfect clay. He remakes it with patience and love. You may wonder why certain seasons twist and press you harder than others. Yet even pressure has purpose. The potter's hands never leave the clay. He holds it firmly to guide it into its final form. We are His workmanship. Ephesians 2:10. You are not an accident. You are art in progress. When your plans crumble, it may be because he's reshaping what was never meant to last. What looks like loss is often transformation. God breaks what's brittle so he can rebuild what's true. Trust that the hands that hold you know exactly what they are doing. The potter does not rush. He waits until the vessel can bear what it's designed to hold. The delays you face are not denial. They are part of preparation. His patience is not distance, it's devotion. Every moment on the wheel is a moment in his care. And when the fire comes, when trials test your shape, it's not to destroy you, but to strengthen you. Pottery is only complete when it endures the kiln. The testing of your faith produces perseverance. James 1:1-3. Through the heat, your purpose is sealed and your faith refined. Even now, the potter's hands are steady. He does not flinch at your flaws or give up when you resist. His goal is not perfection, but intimacy, a vessel that reflects his heart. Every fingerprint on your life tells a story of his craftsmanship. Rest tonight knowing you are still on his wheel, still in his hands, still becoming. You don't need to see the final form to trust the Maker. The same hands that shape the earth are shaping you with care. Be still. The potter is not finished yet. Chapter 24. Be anxious for nothing. Anxiety is a thief of peace, a storm that starts quietly within, but God's word offers an anchor strong enough to calm it. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Philippians 4:6. These words invite surrender, not suppression. You were never meant to carry every concern alone. Prayer is not escape, it's exchange. When you bring your worries to God, you trade fear for faith, tension for trust. Each prayer is a seed of peace planted in the soil of surrender. Worry often disguises itself as preparation, convincing you that constant thinking equals control. But control is heavy, and peace is light. The more you try to hold, the more your heart trembles. Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. Psalm 55:22. Let go, and he will hold what you cannot. Thanksgiving is the key that unlocks rest. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. When you thank God in advance, you declare faith before the outcome. Gratitude doesn't ignore the struggle. It invites God into it. Peace is not the absence of anxiety, it's the presence of Christ within it. The same Jesus who calmed the waves can calm your thoughts. His peace does not depend on explanation, only invitation. When you turn your worry into worship, stillness follows naturally. Even your breath can become prayer tonight. Inhale his peace, exhale your fear. Let every heartbeat remind you that you're sustained by grace, not by control. The Lord will perfect that which concerns me. Psalm 138:8. Nothing slips through his care. You are safe to rest. The night does not belong to worry, it belongs to peace. God does not sleep, so you can. Every concern you surrender becomes a testimony waiting to happen. Trust that his silence is not absence, it's sovereignty. Now lay your anxieties at his feet. Let his promises settle over you like soft rain. Tomorrow will have its own grace, just as tonight has its own peace. Be anxious for nothing, because your heart is already held by everything you need. Hymn. Chapter 25. The Lord is my refuge. There are times when the world feels unsafe, when fear creeps in through every thought and you long for a place to hide. But God has always been that place. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Psalm 46:1. His presence isn't distant, it's protection wrapped in peace. When life trembles, run toward him, not away. His refuge is not built of walls, but of love. The storms may rage, but within his shelter, the wind loses its voice. He does not promise the absence of chaos, but the presence of calm. In him, even trembling becomes trust. Refuge means safety, but it also means surrender. It's the moment you stop fighting to defend yourself and allow his strength to defend you. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. Proverbs 18:10. You don't have to earn entry, the door is always open. When you rest in his refuge, fear begins to fade. Worry can't survive in the atmosphere of his presence. He takes what overwhelms you and turns it into peace. His protection isn't always visible, but it's always active, shielding you from what you'll never even know was near. Even in your weakness, he remains your fortress. When you cannot pray, your sigh becomes enough. When you cannot stand, his strength carries you. Refuge is not about what you do, it's about where you dwell. Choose to dwell in him, even as the world keeps moving. The Psalms remind us, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm 91:1. That shadow is not darkness, it's covering. It's the nearness of a father who stays closer than the fear that chases you. Picture yourself now in that stronghold, quiet, safe, surrounded by his peace. The threats outside no longer define your heart. His love becomes your shield, his promises your walls. You are enclosed by his faithfulness, and no enemy can reach that deep. Tonight rest inside his refuge. The world may shake, but you will not fall. The Lord surrounds you like light around a flame, gentle, fierce, unbreakable. You are safe now, hidden in his care, wrapped in the strength of his everlasting arms. Chapter 26. A New Heart. Change often begins quietly, a stirring deep within the soul that whispers, something must be made new. God doesn't just mend what's broken, he transforms it. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. Ezekiel 36:26. This promise is not poetic, it's personal. It's his way of saying, I'm not finished with you. A new heart doesn't mean a different you. It means a restored you, the one he designed before pain hardened the edges. He takes hearts once calloused by disappointment and makes them soft again. He removes what's heavy so that love can flow freely. His renewal is tender, not rushed. Sometimes he allows brokenness to reveal what needs replacing. Like a surgeon, he cuts away what harms so healing can begin. The process may sting, but it leads to wholeness. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Psalm 51:10. That prayer never goes unheard. When God gives you a new heart, he also gives you new eyes, to see grace where you once saw failure, to notice beauty in places that once felt empty. Old wounds lose their power, and new mercy takes their place. You begin to feel alive again, not because life changed, but because you did. The Spirit works in quiet ways. You won't always notice the transformation as it happens, but one day you'll look back and realize you're not the same. The bitterness faded, the fear subsided, the peace deepened. God's renewing hand never stops creating. It's not your job to make your heart new, only to surrender it. He does the work, you provide the willing. When you place your old heart in his hands, he doesn't reject it. He redeems it. What once felt beyond repair becomes his masterpiece of mercy. As night falls, let this truth rest within you. Renewal isn't a moment. It's a rhythm. Every day he breathes life into what seemed lifeless. Every morning his mercy makes you new again. The Spirit of God is still sculpting the heart you've prayed for. So lay down tonight knowing change is already underway. You are not the same person you were yesterday. The hands that formed your first heartbeat are touching it once more. Sleep in that assurance. Your new heart is already beating in His grace. Chapter 27. The Good Portion. There's a quiet beauty in choosing stillness when the world demands motion. In the home of two sisters, Jesus once spoke a truth that still calls us today. Martha rushed and worried, but Mary sat and listened. Mary has chosen the good portion, and it will not be taken from her. Luke 10:42. That good portion is not found in doing. It's found in being with Him. Martha's heart was full of good intentions, yet her peace slipped away in distraction. Many of us live there, surrounded by tasks, yet starving for stillness. Jesus did not scold her for serving. He invited her to rest. The Lord's presence is not earned by busyness, but received through quiet attention. When you slow down, you begin to hear His voice again. It doesn't compete with noise, it waits for stillness. Every pause becomes a place of meeting. To sit at His feet is not laziness, it's love. It's the moment you remember that your worth has never depended on your performance. The good portion is not a task but a treasure, His word feeding your heart, His presence filling your silence. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. Matthew 4:4. The more you listen, the more life you receive. When your mind races, whisper His name. That single act of attention pulls heaven close. Mary found peace not by doing more, but by choosing less. The same invitation is open tonight, to trade motion for meaning, distraction for devotion. You are not forgotten when you rest. God does not love you less for stopping. He delights in your stillness. The shepherd never scolds the sheep for lying down in green pastures. He leads them there. Rest is not rebellion. It's obedience. Tonight, let your heart sit quietly at His feet. The world can wait. His presence cannot. Choose the better portion and find that it was what your soul longed for all along. The night will become sacred simply because He is near. As you close your eyes, know this truth. You have chosen well. The good portion cannot be taken from you. What you received in silence will remain when the noise returns. Rest now. You are sitting at the feet of peace Himself. Chapter 28. Perfect love casts out fear. Fear hides in the corners of the heart, small, persistent, whispering lies about tomorrow. But Scripture gives a remedy that doesn't merely silence fear, it removes its roots. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. 1 John 4:18. The closer you come to God's love, the smaller fear becomes. Fear thrives in distance, but love closes the gap. God doesn't conquer fear with force. He dissolves it with presence. His perfect love reminds you that you are never abandoned, never forgotten, never unloved. What you fear most cannot outlast the one who holds you. When Jesus walked on water, the disciples trembled in the storm. But He said, "Take heart, it is I. Do not be afraid." Matthew 14:27. Fear vanished not because the wind stopped, but because love spoke. That same voice still calms hearts today, including yours. You cannot reason fear away. You can only wrest it away. Fear cannot stand where trust is strong, and trust grows in the warmth of divine love. When you know you are loved, uncertainty loses its threat. Every heartbeat becomes an echo of, "I am safe." God's love is not fragile or fleeting. It's constant as breath. He does not wait for your courage to embrace you. He gives courage through His embrace. Love doesn't demand perfection. It restores peace. It is both shield and shelter. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Psalm 23:4. Presence is the antidote to panic. The shadow cannot stay when light draws near. You are walking with the one who already overcame every darkness. Let tonight be your declaration. Fear no longer defines you. Love has claimed you, and perfect love never loses what it holds. The peace you feel is not imagined. It is the realness of his nearness wrapping gently around you. So breathe deeply. Let love drive fear from every corner of your heart. The storm may whisper threats, but love speaks louder. Sleep in that truth. You are fully seen, completely loved, and entirely safe in his arms. Chapter 29. The Unseen Battle. Some struggles cannot be seen by human eyes. They unfold quietly, in thoughts, temptations, and weariness of the soul. Yet Scripture reminds us, we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces of darkness. Ephesians 6:12. The battle is real, but so is the victory already won through Christ. You may feel drained without knowing why, as if peace slips through your fingers despite prayer. But take heart, you are not fighting alone. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. The unseen realm trembles when you choose faith over fear, prayer over panic. Every believer walks through invisible storms, yet God provides armor unseen but unbreakable. Put on the full armor of God, Paul wrote, so that you can stand against the devil's schemes. Ephesians 6:11. Truth, righteousness, and faith are not concepts. They are coverings. You are never unprotected. When anxiety whispers that you're losing ground, remember, peace itself is a weapon. The enemy cannot thrive where calm remains. Your praise confuses darkness. Your worship pushes back fear. Every prayer you speak echoes louder in heaven than any lie spoken against you. Even rest is warfare. To sleep in faith is to declare that God is in control. The powers of darkness feed on chaos, but they starve in peace. When you lay down tonight, you are not surrendering to weakness. You are resting in victory. Greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. 1 John 4:4. That truth is your shield. You don't have to see the battle to know the outcome. Every wound, every test, every sleepless night has already met its match in grace. The unseen battle may continue, but your heart can remain still. God's angels stand guard even now. His light pierces what the eye cannot see. You are surrounded, protected, and deeply loved, always. So sleep in strength tonight. The fight does not belong to you, it belongs to God. The darkness may move, but it cannot win. Peace is your armor, faith your sword, and his presence your victory. Rest. The war is already won. Chapter 30. Joy comes in the morning. Sorrow may visit, but it is never permanent. It stays only long enough to remind us of what joy can heal. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 35. Those words carry a promise. The night will not last forever, and the dawn will not delay. There are seasons when grief feels endless, when hope seems distant. Yet even in tears, God is planting renewal. The heart that breaks is the heart he rebuilds. He will turn your mourning into dancing. Psalm 30:11. Joy isn't denial of pain, it's the presence of grace within it. The night tests your faith, but morning proves it true. When the first light touches the horizon, it carries mercy with it. Each sunrise is a reminder that God still writes new beginnings. Even the longest darkness cannot erase his promise of renewal. You may not feel joyful yet, and that's okay. Joy often begins as a whisper before it becomes a song. God doesn't rush your healing, he walks beside you through it. Every tear that falls is counted, every sigh heard. Nothing is wasted in his care. Hope rises quietly, like the sun through the mist. It doesn't shout, it glows. Those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy. Psalm 126:5. The soil of sorrow often grows the sweetest fruit. Trust that joy is already on its way. Sometimes joy doesn't arrive with laughter, but with peace, a deep knowing that you are safe again. The light of morning doesn't erase the past, it transforms it. Pain becomes perspective, and loss becomes love remembered. As you rest tonight, imagine the dawn waiting just beyond your window. The world is still dark, but the sky is already shifting. The promise of joy is closer than it seems. Morning always finds those who wait with faith. Close your eyes in hope. The night will end, and with it, the ache. God's light is approaching, gentle and certain. When you wake, let the first thing you feel be gratitude, because joy has come to meet you. Chapter 31. The Everlasting Arms. There are moments when it feels like everything beneath you has given way, when life shifts suddenly and the ground of certainty disappears. Yet even then, you are not falling alone. The eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. Deuteronomy 33:27. His strength is not seasonal, it is forever. You may feel too tired to keep standing, too weak to hold on. But his arms are strong enough to carry you through what your strength cannot. When your faith falters, his love does not. The God who upholds the universe also upholds you. Tenderly, securely, completely. The everlasting arms don't just catch you, they sustain you. They hold you through grief, guide you through uncertainty, and lift you through fear. God's support doesn't waver with your emotions. His hold is constant, even when yours loosens. Moses sang those words to remind Israel that no battle was theirs alone. The same promise remains. You are supported not by circumstance but by covenant, a bond of love that cannot break. His arms stretch beneath every fall, every failure, every night of doubt. Think of how a parent carries a sleeping child, carefully, without disturbance. That is how God carries you. Even to your old age, I am He. I will sustain you, and I will carry you. Isaiah 46:4. His strength never tires, and his grip never slips. When fear tells you that you are alone, remember who holds you. His embrace is wider than the sky and warmer than the sunrise. The same arms that carried the cross now carry you through the shadows. His strength becomes your stillness. The everlasting arms don't promise an easy path, but they guarantee a safe arrival. You are never out of his reach, never beyond his care. He carries you not just through the storm, but into peace beyond it. So tonight you can rest without fear of falling. His arms are already beneath you, cradling every worry, lifting every burden. You are safe, you are seen, and you are held by love that has no end. Let yourself be carried home into his peace. Chapter 32. The Promise of Eternal Rest. There comes a moment when every striving soul understands. Rest is not escape, it is fulfillment. There remains a rest for the people of God. Hebrews 4:9. This rest is not simply sleep, but restoration, the soul returning to its source, the heart dwelling again in its maker. In this promise, we find the end of all unrest. The same God who commanded light to shine now invites you to cease from striving. Come to me, Jesus said, and you will find rest for your souls. Matthew 11:29. Eternal rest begins when we finally trust that he has done enough. Every ache of the human heart is a longing for this peace, the place where fear ends and love remains. Heaven is not a distant dream, but the fulfillment of every whisper for home. To rest in him is to begin eternity even now. The world exhausts itself chasing comfort, yet true rest comes only from surrender. You cannot earn it, you receive it. The cross was the final work so that grace could become your Sabbath. Every breath of faith is already a step toward forever peace. When you think of eternity, don't imagine distance. Imagine closeness. Rest is not isolation, but union with perfect love. The shepherd leads his flock to still waters not just for a night, but for all time. And God himself will wipe away every tear. Revelation 21:4. Your body may grow weary, but your spirit is being renewed. The promise of eternal rest means nothing will ever again separate you from peace. Even death cannot divide what grace has joined. The arms that hold you now will hold you always. As you close your eyes tonight, you are already leaning into that eternal rest. Heaven begins wherever you surrender fear and embrace his presence. The night becomes holy because it mirrors the peace awaiting you. Sleep now, beloved of God. The journey is complete, the striving finished, the heart finally home. You rest not only for this night, but for eternity, safe in his promise, whole in his love, forever in his peace. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Psalm 23:1-3. As this night settles gently around you, let your heart remember the shepherd who never sleeps. Every breath is his reminder that you are guided, guarded, and loved. You do not walk this path alone. His presence surrounds you like the calm after the storm, and his peace lingers where fear once lived. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you because they trust in you. Isaiah 26:3. Let this promise quiet your spirit. The worries of the day can rest now. The Creator of the stars watches over you with care. In his stillness, every anxious thought finds silence. Trust does not erase uncertainty. It transforms it into peace, a peace the world cannot touch and time cannot take away. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. The voice of Jesus still whispers these words tonight. You have nothing left to prove, nothing left to carry. His hands cradle your soul. His love sings over your sleep. May your dreams be gentle and your heart untroubled. May the peace of Christ guard your heart as you sleep.